Or just as well, United. Have to talk about United because I was at Old Trafford yesterday, pitch side, and honestly, Jason, I couldn't believe how bad they were and how flat the whole place was. It was honestly, I couldn't believe what I was watching. I've always been a player that loved Old Trafford. You know, it was the theatre of dreams. You go there, the atmosphere is incredible. You know, the noise, and you go there, and it was like keep the score down 2-3-0. Wolves absolutely battered Manchester United, outclassed them, outplayed them. But some of the players and the way they was acting when they give the ball away, just jogging back, heads down, no belief. And I was 15 yards away from Rangnick, and who is it? Who is he? What is he doing in there? Because it just looked a complete show. I couldn't believe what I was watching, and the fans had no belief as well. So 03717 223344. What is going on at Manchester United? What's your take?
Well, it's no huge surprise because Man United have been in decline for a number of years now, and even though Ollie started off pretty well when he took over from Jose, the club, Jose left it under a cloud, and he lifted it for a bit. But if you look back over some of the performances under Ollie, they have been dreadful, some of them. And they've got good individual players, Man United, and they somehow managed to find and get a way out of it because they had the likes of Cavani. They were 2-0 down away at Southampton, 1-3-2. You know, you can easily forget some of those performances, but when you put them all together, Everton away under Ollie's first season, they got completely turned over 4-0 at Goodison. There have been a number of these performances. Man United are now finding new ways to stink out Old Trafford. They're finding new, and that's impressive. Because I've seen some performances. Crystal Palace, first game of the season. Was it this year or last year? Can't remember now. But under Ollie, you know, Palace, brilliant Palace. Turned up, they're beaten 3-1 the first day of the season. This is not new. This is nothing new. What we're seeing now, though, is that they're under the spotlight a little bit more. There's been a change of manager. I think the club has, top to bottom, has to be totally restructured. Because since Sir Alex left and David Gill left, that club has been in decline. Yeah. Clearly, Woody, he's not cut out for the job. They gave David Moyes they only bought Fellaini in the first transfer window. That squad that Sir Alex left, if you look at it,
wasn't good enough.
Was an ageing squad.
Yeah, it was, yeah.
They had that squad. Within 2 years, that back four, less than that I think, about 18, that back four had left. So the club itself has been totally mismanaged. And in doing so, some of the dealings they've done, did they need Sancho? They chased him. Did they really need that player after the emergence of Greenwood? They had Rashford in there. They had Dan James. Then they brought in Ronaldo. The club, they've got good players, but the structure of that club, and it feels like it's a rotten football club right now.
It does. I mean, Luke Shaw's comments where he's basically saying we look like we had no options. We don't look like a team. I mean, I couldn't believe what I was hearing, but he was right. Because standing there watching it, I'm looking at Sancho. He looks a shadow. Looks a shadow of himself.
Mate. They're bereft of any idea, any confidence. They don't. You can tell they don't believe in the manager.
No, you can tell.
You can
absolutely tell.
People saying, I was listening to Danny Mills and them saying that they're not trying. Players, in my experience, you've never gone out not to try. What you do go out there is you have a lack of belief in the manager and lack of belief in what he is trying to achieve. Yeah. That can spread very quickly, not just through a team, through a dressing room. They'll be talking. And if they don't believe the manager, which I saw last night, two different sides. I know you get two different sides, right? One, Wolves by Bruno Lage, well coached, and a manager knows exactly what he's doing.
Very good.
And the players believe him. You can just see the way they're set up. Okay, they're not the most exciting side in the world. They've scored 14
good football, though.
But they totally bossed the game.
Organised.
Wolves bossed Man United at Old Trafford. Bossed it. Okay, which should have been more than 1-0. But you look at those two teams. One team believes in what they're being told by the manager.
Yeah, no, Rangnick.
It ain't just Rangnick's fault, mate. Get rid of him, he's still got the same problem for me.
I couldn't believe what I was seeing. I really couldn't believe what I was seeing. Well, I want to hear from you. 03717 223344. Let's go to Matt, who is a Manchester United fan. Matt, good evening.
Good evening. Or is it? Well, not for me.
Happy. Well, no, maybe it's not. Maybe it's not. Yeah.
Look, I want to go back to the performance from last night because we haven't talked about it, me and Jason, and now we have. The performance was absolutely shocking.
Yeah, it was dire. And I mean, what I was saying earlier, and I spoke to my dad about it, a few of my mates, it's just like, I know he's come in and he's trying to implement this new system, and it takes a while. But what he's all about and what everyone was talking about was the pressing. Where's the pressing? They're athletes. They're top athletes, and they can't even run. They can't pass it 5 yards. It's ridiculous.
But you know what I couldn't believe, Matt, was this so-called professor comes in at Manchester United. He's playing 4-4-2.
Well, they're saying it's 4-2-2-2, aren't they?
Well, it's 4-4-2. I don't care what anyone says. You know, it's 4-4-2. You had Greenwood.
Yeah.
And you had Sancho, who were wingers, playing on the right. You had Cavani and Ronaldo up front. And you had Matic and McTominay holding him in midfield. It's 4-4-2. I don't care what anyone says. And when you're playing against a proper side like Wolves, who are organised, and they were playing 3-5-2, you just got totally outclassed and totally outnumbered in midfield. It was like amateur hour. I couldn't believe what I was watching.
It's the thing is, I could forgive it, you know, as a transitional period, if you could see the players have got the hunger and the desire to close the ball down, to get into space and stuff like that. But they're not even doing that. It's pathetic. He needs to come in. I think maybe they brought him in just to weed out those players and bring it in for the next manager, because he is supposed to be going up to the director, isn't he, next year?
Do you want him? Do you want him as a director when you're seeing that? Is that a philosophy that you want to see at your football club?
At least he knows football. This has been the trouble, isn't it? Woodward doesn't know football. He's making footballers' decisions. He's never even kicked a football, the bloke. He's a businessman. He doesn't know anything about football. And he's playing he thinks he's playing FIFA or Football Manager or something.
So I feel for Rangnick.
Just bring in these players. Like you said, we didn't need Sancho. We had Dan James played his heart out. Not as good as Sancho or whatever, but he played for the shirt, and then he's gone and got sold for next to nothing. Brought Sancho in for 80-odd million. He's done nothing.
See, I feel a bit for Rangnick, because he's, you know, whenever a manager comes in at a club, 99% of the time it's because the club they're not performing. So it's not often you go into a job, unless it's the beginning of the season and another manager's been poached, that you go into a side that's well set up and well coached. So he's had to pick up some pieces, right? So I feel sorry from there. But it would appear that he's picked up a group of players that have completely gone confidence-wise. Some of the performances before Ollie went, again, they were dreadful, individually and collectively. And he's not been able to lift them. And I don't think they genuinely believe in what he is trying to get across to them. This 4-2-2-2, they're not buying it. They're not. The players aren't buying it right now.
No, you absolutely. And one thing, and you know, Jason, as players in dressing rooms, you suss a manager out very quickly. And I think they look at Spurs with Nuno. Straight away, they were like, "We're not having this guy, not having him," and it filters back to the owners. And Levy was like, "He's got to go."
One of the mistakes the Man United made, and I've said it for a long time, I'll say it again: how they let Antonio Conte get slip through their fingers when he was there. The answer was there. It's in front of them. He was out of work. It was there.
No.
Spurs, credit to Spurs, they rectified their mistake and they got the job done.